The broken chair creaked ominously as I sat down in the corner of our family's opulent conference room. My cousin Michael's smirk was visible from across the mahogany table where he sat in his father's leather executive chair, surrounded by our other cousins and their shiny MBA degrees. "Careful there, Olivia," he called out. "Wouldn't want you to fall and hurt yourself. Though I suppose cleaning ladies are used to workplace accidents." The others snickered. In their eyes, that's all I was. The family charity case, the cousin who'd wasted her inheritance on some mysterious business venture instead of joining Wright Family Holdings, our generations-old real estate empire. I adjusted my glasses, deliberately letting them catch the glare from the floor-to-ceiling windows. The same windows that would soon belong to me, though they didn't know it yet. "I'll manage, Michael. Please continue with your presentation." He turned back to his PowerPoint, filled with flashy graphics and empty promises about Wright Family Holdings' future. I noticed he carefully avoided mentioning the company's plummeting stock price or the 3 failed development projects this quarter alone. As I was saying before we were interrupted, he shot me a condescending look. "Our next acquisition target is the Peterson building downtown. Once we leverage our assets." I tuned him out, checking my phone discreetly. A message from my assistant, Emma. "Paperwork's ready. Final share count confirmed 62% ownership. Should I bring them now?" "Give it 10 minutes, I typed back. "Let them finish digging their hole." My mind drifted to 5 years ago when this all began. Uncle Richard, Michael's father and the family patriarch, had gathered us for the annual strategy meeting. I'd presented a detailed analysis of the company's vulnerabilities and a plan to modernize our operations. "Real estate isn't about spreadsheets and market analysis," Uncle Richard had laughed, wadding up my report and tossing it in the trash. "It's about gut instinct and family tradition. Stick to the small stuff, sweetheart. Leave the real business to the men." So I had, on the surface. I'd taken my small inheritance of $3 million and disappeared into the world of private equity. While they assumed I was failing at some boutique investment firm, I'd built Aurora Capital into a silent powerhouse, specializing in acquiring underperforming family businesses. Companies exactly like Wright Family Holdings. "And that's why," Michael's voice cut through my memories, "we need to redistribute the company shares. Consolidate power among those who truly understand business." Aunt Patricia, the only other woman in the room, spoke up timidly. "But what about Olivia's shares? Her grandfather was a founding partner." "Please," Michael waved his hand dismissively. "We all know she'll sell them for pennies once her little side business fails. Probably need the money for rent soon." I checked my watch. A subtle Patek Philippe that cost more than Michael's car. "Almost time. Actually," I straightened in my wobbly chair, "I've been meaning to discuss the share situation." "Unless you're announcing your resignation from the board," my cousin Thomas chimed in, "nobody's interested in your opinions." The conference room door opened. Emma walked in, carrying a thick folder emblazoned with the Aurora Capital logo. "Excuse me, Ms. Wright. The acquisition papers are ready for your signature." Michael frowned. "This is a private family meeting. Your secretary can wait outside with the other support staff." "Oh, but this concerns the family," I smiled, standing up as Emma placed the folder in front of me. "Specifically, Wright Family Holdings' future ownership structure." "What are you talking about?" Uncle Richard demanded, speaking for the first time. I opened the folder, enjoying the way their expressions shifted from annoyance to confusion. Aurora Capital has spent the last 18 months acquiring Wright Family Holdings stock through various shell companies. As of this morning, we own controlling interest. The room erupted in chaos. Michael lunged for the papers, coffee cup tumbling across his precious PowerPoint printouts. "This is impossible. Aurora Capital. That's one of the most aggressive private equity firms in the country." "Yes," I agreed, removing my glasses to meet his panicked gaze. "It is." "You're lying," Michael sputtered, frantically flipping through the acquisition papers. "Aurora Capital is run by some corporate raider named O.W. Mitchell. Everyone knows that." I smiled, letting the moment stretch. O.W. Mitchell. Olivia Wright Mitchell. My mother's maiden name. Amazing how adding a few initials can make people assume they're dealing with a man. Uncle Richard slammed his fist on the table. "This is absurd. We would have known if someone was buying up shares." "Would you?" I pulled out another folder. This one containing trading records. Like you knew the Peterson building deal was falling apart? Or that your last 3 projects went 40% over budget? When was the last time any of you actually read the quarterly reports? The other cousins shifted uncomfortably. They'd been too busy spending their dividends to notice the company's decline. Emma stepped forward with more documents. Ms. Wright, the SEC filings are complete. Shall I contact the press? Give us a minute, I said softly, watching my family's faces as reality sank in. I think we need a little family discussion. Aunt Patricia broke the silence. But you're just the quiet one. The one who never. Never what, Aunt Patricia? Never showed off. Never bragged about my Harvard MBA. Never flaunted my success. I gestured around the room. While you were all busy proving how important you were, I was building something bigger than inherited privilege. My phone buzzed, messages flooding in as news of the acquisition leaked. Industry contacts, brilliant move. Never saw it coming. Business reporters, interview request Wright Holdings acquisition. Financial analysts, Aurora Capital strikes again. This is a trick, Michael declared, but his voice trembled. Dad, do something. Uncle Richard had aged years in minutes, his face ashen. The shares. How did you get so many shares? Simple. I perched on the edge of the conference table. No broken chair needed now. I watched. I listened. Every time one of you needed quick cash for a new car or vacation house, my shell companies were there to buy your shares. Every time you overlooked a smaller stockholder, I was there. Patient. Quiet. Building. Thomas grabbed his phone. I'm calling our lawyers. Already here, Emma announced as 3 attorneys entered carrying more documents. Along with documentation of some interesting financial decisions made by current management. Are you threatening us? Michael stood up, trying to reclaim his authority. Not at all. I'm offering you a choice. I pulled out individual folders with their names. Inside you'll find 2 options. Option 1. Resign your positions, keep your remaining shares as silent partners, sign the non-compete agreements. Option 2. Face a full audit of your personal expenses charged to company accounts. The room temperature seemed to drop as they processed my words. You wouldn't, Aunt Patricia whispered. We're family. Family. I laughed softly. Was it family when you excluded me from board meetings? When you gave me a broken chair and corner desk? When you called me the cleaning lady? My phone buzzed again. Uncle Richard's wife this time. Just heard the news. Please don't let Richard's mistakes hurt the children's inheritance. I looked at my uncle, seeing for the first time how small he seemed without his borrowed power. The children's inheritance is exactly what I'm saving. This company was built by people who understood hard work, not entitled heirs playing at business. Emma distributed the folders while I continued. Inside you'll also find new employment contracts. Junior positions, of course. For those willing to learn the business properly this time. Junior positions? Michael exploded. I'm vice president of operations. No, I corrected gently, you were vice president of operations. Now you're offered an entry-level analyst position. If you can qualify for it. The lawyers stepped forward, pens ready. One by one my family members opened their folders, faces paling at the contents. You have 1 hour to decide, I announced, standing up. Oh, and Michael, you might want to update your resume. I hear the Peterson building is hiring janitors. The next 24 hours transformed Wright Family Holdings more dramatically than the past 20 years. By midnight my cousins' premium parking spots were reassigned, their executive suites emptied, and their company credit cards deactivated. Michael's attempted midnight raid on the company files was thwarted by the new security protocols I'd quietly installed months ago. I worked through the night in what had been Uncle Richard's office, replacing his hunting trophies with the original architectural drawings my grandfather had used to build the company. At 2 a.m., Emma brought in a stack of resignations and signed agreements. Most chose option 1, she reported. Though Michael is still threatening to fight it. Of course he is, I smiled, reviewing the documents. Has he checked his personal account balance yet? Just did. His face when he realized all his stock options were worthless. Emma paused, suppressing a laugh. Let's just say the security cameras caught an interesting meltdown. By dawn, my phone was overwhelmed with family messages. Aunt Patricia, please, let's discuss this reasonably. The children's private school tuition is due. Thomas, you can't expect me to start as an analyst. I have an MBA. Uncle Richard, your grandfather would be ashamed. That last one made me pause. I pulled out an old photograph from my desk. My grandfather and me standing in front of his first building project. I was 12, asking endless questions about load-bearing walls and zoning laws while my cousins played with their trust fund toys. No, Uncle Richard, I murmured. Grandfather taught me that real estate isn't just about owning buildings. It's about building something worth owning. At 9 a.m. sharp, I called my first company-wide meeting. The auditorium was packed, employees curious about the overnight leadership change. My family huddled in the back, looking lost without their executive seats. Wright Family Holdings was founded on 3 principles, I began. Innovation, integrity, and merit. Somewhere along the way, we forgot that family doesn't mean entitlement, it means responsibility. I outlined the new company structure. Promotions based on performance, not bloodline. Investment in sustainable development, not quick profits. Restoration of the employee profit-sharing program my grandfather had started. But we're Wrights. Michael interrupted from the back. This company bears our name. Names are inherited, I replied calmly. Respect is earned. Speaking of which. I nodded to Emma, who distributed more folders. Inside you'll find your new performance metrics. Everyone, including family members, will be evaluated quarterly. Your positions will reflect your contributions, not your DNA. The regular employees broke into spontaneous applause. They'd watched for years as qualified professionals were passed over for promotions in favor of my incompetent cousins. By afternoon, reality had begun to sink in. Michael stormed into my office, waving his new contract. An entry-level position? With performance reviews. You could always try the Peterson building, I suggested. Though I bought that this morning too. He collapsed into a chair, a sturdy one unlike what they'd given me. How long have you been planning this? Since the day Uncle Richard threw away my analysis. 5 years of watching you all destroy what grandfather built. 5 years of being the quiet one, the invisible one, while I built Aurora Capital. But why not just join us? We would have given you a position. Given. Not earned. I pushed a file across the desk. Your first assignment if you choose to accept the analyst position. The same market analysis I presented 5 years ago. Let's see if you can understand it this time. Over the next few weeks, Wright Family Holdings transformed. Some family members actually thrived once they had to earn their positions. Aunt Patricia discovered a talent for community relations, and Cousin Thomas proved surprisingly capable in project management once he stopped coasting on his name. Others struggled. Michael lasted 3 days as an analyst before quitting to pursue other opportunities. Uncle Richard took early retirement, though his wife quietly thanked me for saving the company he'd nearly ruined. 1 month after the takeover, I found a package on my desk. Inside was a chair, broken, stained, with a note in Michael's handwriting. Saved this from the renovation. Thought you might want a souvenir of your struggling days. I placed it in the corner of my office. A reminder that sometimes the best revenge isn't just succeeding, it's succeeding so completely that they have to watch from the sidelines they once assigned you to. That evening, as I reviewed plans for our first sustainable development project, Emma brought in one last message. A handwritten letter from my grandfather's old business partner. Your grandfather once told me his greatest legacy wouldn't be the buildings he built, but the builder he was raising. He saw what they all missed. That quiet observers often make the strongest leaders. Well done, Olivia. The corner office finally has the right. I smiled, touching the photograph of 12-year-old me studying blueprints. Success isn't about having the biggest chair at the table. It's about building a table worth sitting at and filling it with people who've earned their seats. My phone buzzed one final time. Michael using his personal email since his company account was disabled. The analyst position. Is it still available? Turns out trust funds don't last as long as they used to. I looked at the broken chair in the corner, then at the empire I'd built while sitting in it. Yes, I typed back. But this time you'll have to earn the right to sit at the table. Even if it's in the corner. After all, the best views of a company's future sometimes come from the seats others consider beneath them. Just ask the quiet one in the corner, watching, learning, and building something greater than they could imagine. Because sometimes, the strongest foundations are built by those they forced to start from the bottom. And the sweetest success isn't in taking their seats. It's in showing them why they never deserved them in the first place. Late that night, standing at the window of what was now truly my office, I watched the city lights flicker across our buildings, each one a testament to what my grandfather had started and what I had saved. The broken chair still sat in the corner, a shadow against the modern decor, reminding me of every dismissive comment, every condescending smile, every moment they thought they were pushing me down when they were actually giving me the foundation to rise. My phone lit up with a message from Emma. The old boardroom table is being removed tomorrow. Want me to save your corner spot as a souvenir too? I smiled, remembering all the meetings I'd sat through there, quietly taking notes while my family played at being business leaders. No, I replied. Donate it to the business school. Let it be a reminder that real power doesn't come from where you sit. It comes from what you build while you're sitting there. Looking at my grandfather's photo one last time, I noticed something I'd missed before. In the background, behind us studying those blueprints, was a broken chair. He'd kept it in his office too, though I'd never known why. Now I understood. Some lessons about success are best taught from the uncomfortable seats of humility. Tomorrow I'd start interviewing for new executive positions. The candidates would all sit in proper chairs, but I'd be watching for the ones who understood that every seat at the table had to be earned, not inherited. Because sometimes the greatest legacy isn't the empire you build. It's teaching others how to build their own, one uncomfortable chair at a time.